Hey, thanks for joining us again. We're out at 5 Mile Pass Recreation Area with our 1959 FC-170. FC stands for forward cab because the cab is in front of the axle. So these had a 104-inch wheelbase with a 126-inch bed. So they had a load carrying capacity of 1-to-1, meaning it could carry as much weight as it weighs itself, which no other rig of its size could do back then. So it was pretty revolutionary. They were made from 1956 to 1964. About 30,000 of them were produced. This one is equipped with the Super Hurricane motor, which is the bigger motor that you could get. So it does pretty well. Top speed's about 50-55 miles an hour, but you can haul just about anything you want. They're pretty dang cool, pretty fun to drive, and amazing how capable they really are in just stock form. This one's all stock. Anyway, so we'll talk about kind of where this one came from. This one came from Oregon. It was sold new in Oregon and lived its whole life. That's where I bought it from a ranch in Oregon. And we brought it down here. So this right here is a vent for the heat system in there. There's actually a knob you can pull inside to open and close that, and that lets air come through the heater vent. But if you don't want air blowing because it's hot outside, there's a knob you can push inside and that will close that. I'll show you later. This is a plug for the heating, the block heater, so that you can have the engine warm up if it's freezing outside. This was in a pretty cold climate area. There's actually still tire chains in the back of the cab. So she probably saw quite a bit of snow and whatnot when she was out on the ranch. This is the original bumper. It's a little guard down here to help protect the front end. It is four-wheel drive like it should be. It has a 44 front end. This one does have blinkers that were added to it. Originally these were just marker lights, but they've been converted to actual blinkers in it. Somebody did add this little sprayer guy right here. Originally it would not have had sprayers, it just had wipers. But somebody added that along the line somewhere. No, these are manual locking hubs. Originally it wouldn't have had those, but they are period correct from the 60s and 70s. These were advertised. I have the original pamphlet for these, but as the easiest locking hubs to use, and you're just supposed to use a quarter or some type of coin, and you can turn these out and that will lock it, and turn them and that will unlock it. They're actually kind of a pain in the butt to use, but they do work. So inside here, it's pretty simple. You only get what you need. You got 3 seats. Normally they only have 2 seats. This is a little jumper in the middle. It's the only one I've ever seen. Not sure if that was a farmer edition that somebody added or if that was a factory option, but it was in here, so we're going to keep it with it, and it's fun for the family because we can all go. Battery boxes back there. The engine's underneath here. This cover lifts up so you can get to the engine. This is your choke, so you can help the engine start easier when it's cold. You got your gauges up there, your light switch and key, ignition system there. You get just your very basics. You get your fuel gauge, heat gauge, an oil light, and an amp light and speedometer. Below that, you've got your heater box over there. That's got all the pulls, so you can adjust your fan speed, your heat, cool, and just a vent. And then next to that, there's the handle. That's your e-brake, so you can pull that, which still works. Pretty much just about everything works on this. You got your clutch and brake pedal. This is your four-wheel drive shifter here, and then this is your manual transmission shifter. It's just a standard H pattern. So it's reverse, first, second, third. You can still see the original sticker there that shows your shift pattern. On there. And behind the back seat here, you got your glove box. It's still back there. Not exactly easy to get to, but at least you have one. But very basic, but it works pretty dang well. Along here, you got your bed. It's hauled. We use this actually all the time at our house. We haul stuff to the dump all the time, and it's quite useful actually still. This was the hitch that they would have used at the farm, so they can easily hook up. It's just got a hole with a hitch. You slide in and drop your pin in, and you can tow, whatever you want. These little tabs here on the tailgate are so when the tailgate folds all the way down, it rests on here so that you can load stuff in the into the bed without actually hitting the bumper on the tailgate. This has tons of farmer repairs over the years. They're all old welds and stuff all over it. You can see some patches in the bed there because they use these things heavily. So they were built to work, and they sure made them work. But this one's pretty much rust-free. When I got it, it still had the original tires on it. Well, I don't know if they're original, but original tires from the 60s and 70s. They were not round at all anymore. So when you're doing 35, 40 miles an hour, it was quite the shaky ride. So I put new tires on it, but they're the exact same kind that it had originally. This is actually, I kept the best original one that it had as a spare, so it's still got one of them there. These wood rails were put on when they used this at the ranch. You can see the old rope right there. I've just left it exactly how it came off of their ranch in Oregon. Just keep her maintained and keep her going as she is. And it's pretty cool. If you look around, you can see moss growing on it. Well, probably not growing anymore, but there's moss growing, bits of it all over it from being in Oregon and in that climate. There used to be quite a bit on the wood and stuff, but she's been here in the dry climate a while, so it's all dying and falling off. This hill here, we'll take the hard one. Hopefully she's got it. Got your seatbelt on? Hopefully it's not worse than it usually is. That was pretty gnarly. Passenger side, here's where you get your VIN tag right here. This passenger seat folds up so you can get to your battery box in the back. You got your tire chains back there. Your interior light and all that good stuff. All this rubber matting on the floor. It's all the original rubber matting that it would have had. It's pretty dang cool. When I saw this one come up for sale, I jumped on it because you just don't find them this original and untouched in this good a shape. You can see all the glass is all bubbling because it's all the original glass. You can see all the original safety sheet on it. So none of the glass has ever been broken on it, likely, because it all matches. It all has the same age to it. Those are things I just love to find, is when they're just look like they came out of 1959 and just sat and been used and nobody's modified it or messed with it over the years. But anyway, we also have a FC-150, which is just the shorter, smaller version of it. It feels like driving a clown car. This one feels like driving a dump truck. And we'll do a walk around on that one. So thanks for joining us, and check out our other videos.